permit me to now speak about physical infrastructure development. Madam Presiding Officer, my administration is cognizant of the fact that the state and nature of the island's infrastructure have significant implications for economic performance, quality of life, public safety, and the overall functioning of our socio-economic system. In fact, there is a preponderance of the evidence that suggests that investment in physical infrastructure crowds in rather than crowds out private investment. Given the current state of our development and where we intend to take Tobago, our physical infrastructure development needs are enormous. We therefore must deploy skillful resource mobilization and astute financial management strategies to satisfy our infrastructural needs. In fiscal 2023, we propose to expand the road network in the island by developing new link roads, thereby opening up new lands for development activity. Roads identified as critical priorities under this program include a road from Mount St. George to Mason Hall and then on to Castara, one from Union to Orange Hill Road, one from Calder Hall Trace to Cradley, and one from Hoogley Bush Road to King Peter's Bay Road. We also propose to devise a system to better prioritize roads for critical maintenance and upgrade throughout the island. In addition, we will develop a comprehensive drainage improvement and flood mitigation program for Southwest Tobago to reduce the incidence of flooding in areas such as Canaan, Bonaccord, Canby, and Lowlands. We will also develop a robust cleaning and maintenance regime to ensure that existing drainage systems are clear to minimize flooding, particularly in flood-prone areas. In addition, we propose to conduct a full audit of Tobago's public infrastructure, including the cultural complex that is leaking at this time, aimed at assessing current infrastructure needs, assessing the feasibility of our infrastructure development programs, and preparing a plan for expansion and green upgrade of public infrastructure prioritized for consistency with Tobago's forthcoming development strategy. Further, in keeping with our strategic intent for balanced development in Tobago, we propose to construct a marina at Kings Bay. East getting some development too. Yeah. Thus far, we have published a request for proposal for this project. We will continue working on the proposed Scarborough Development Project. To this end, a technical committee has been established to research and investigate the technical specifications and cost of this project and report to the Executive Council. In fiscal 2023, the funds spent on infrastructure development will directly create new jobs for a skilled workforce in the construction sector. They will also boost productivity and general economic performance in every other sector of the economy and set improved foundations for job creation and rapid economic growth and transformation. Madam Presiding Officer, I now present the draft estimates of expenditure for fiscal 2023. Remember, Madam Presiding Officer, we are expecting 6.9%.
Yes, we are. Yes.
Minimum. 6.9.
The law already says we can get 6.9%. So since you're lovely and careful, we give you 6.9%.
Yes.
Madam Presiding Officer, the total draft estimates of expenditure of Assembly fiscal 2023 amounts to 3.97 billion. Of which recurrent expenditure amounts to 3.07 billion and development expenditure to 900 million, URP to 59.59 million, and CPEP to 53.17 million. The total estimated expenditure of the Assembly was predicated on a forecasted national budget of around 57.4 billion. So we're expecting the national budget to be about 57.4 billion.
Yes.
An increase of 1.9 billion in fiscal 2023 and an allocation of 6.9% thereof to the Assembly in keeping with the upper end of the DRC recommendation. Allow me to highlight just some of the recurrent expenditure estimates. This is recurrent expenditure that makes up the 3.07 billion as disaggregated. Personal expenditure, 830.45 million. Goods and services, 975.37 million. Minor equipment purchases, 80.10 million. Current transfers and subsidies, 1.18 billion. And now, Madam Presiding Officer, the recurrent expenditure for fiscal 2023 represents an increase of 992 million over the parliamentary allocation of fiscal 2022. The recurrent estimates disaggregated by divisions for fiscal 2023 are as follows: Assembly Legislature, 30.30 million. Office of the Chief Secretary, 216.42 million. Office of the Deputy Chief Secretary, 69.15 million. Finance, Trade and Economy, 184.25 million. Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation, 255.85 million. Education, Research and Technology, 485.06 million. Community Development, Youth Development and Sport, 161.34 million. Infrastructure, Quarries and Environment, 455.36 million. Food Security, Natural Resources, the Environment and the Sustainable Development, 250.98 million. Health, Wellness and Social Protection, 918.40 million. And Settlements, Public Utilities and Rural Development, 40.43 million. 40.43 million. And those are recurrent expenditure proposals. Some key program recurrent expenditure proposals, we still recurrent expenditure. TRHA, 600 million. Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, 75 million. Tobago Festival Commission, 50 million. School Feeding Program, 43 million. Project Financing Repayment, 31.2 million. Tobago Agribusiness Development Company, or TATCO, 23 million. Development of Green Spaces, 20 million. Reforestation and Watershed Rehabilitation, 18.7 million. Tobago Performing Arts Company, 15 million. Information Technology Center, 12.9 million. And Assistance to Sports Organizations, 5.8 million. Those are just some of the highlights. Madam Presiding Officer, will now present the development program estimates. Madam Presiding Officer, the estimates for the development program for fiscal 2023 amounts to 900 million. This represents an increase of 636 million over the parliamentary allocation for fiscal 2022. The estimates are disaggregated as follows. Pre-investment, 3.40 million. Economic infrastructure, 360.27 million. Social infrastructure, 400.63 million. And multi-sectorial and other services, 135.7 million. Madam Presiding Officer, to activate our agenda for economic growth and transformation, the development program estimates will deliver support for the following, among others. EID COT, 15 million. Venture Capital Equity Fund Limited, 9 million. Business Incubator Program, 8.2 million. Enterprise Development Loan Program, 5.2 million. Enterprise Assistance Grant Program, 5 million. Madam Presiding Officer, as we seek to revitalize and reposition our tourism sector, the development estimates cater for the following, among others: construction of Tobago cruise ship berths, 10 million; Store Bay Beach facility overhaul and or redesign, 6.0 million; Tobago Tourism Agency Limited, 5 million; Pigeon Point Infrastructure Works, 5 million; restoration of historical sites, 3 million. Madam Presiding Officer, as we seek to develop our food security and sovereignty systems, the development program estimates provide for the following, among others: agriculture access roads, 37 million; improvement to beach and landing facilities, 9 million; improvement to the botanical gardens, 2.3 million; agribusiness and agro-tourism development program, 2 million. As we embark on the transformation and modernization of our education system, our development program estimates will make provision for the upgrades of several educational institutions, including, but not limited to, improvements in primary schools, 8.5 million; improvements to secondary schools, 8 million; upgrade to Mason Hall Government Secondary, particularly roofing system, 5 million; construction of school for the deaf, 5 million; establishment of early childhood centers, 4.5 million; upgrade of technical vocational facility at Roxborough, 4 million; Scarborough Secondary Pre-Construction Consultation, 2 million. Madam Presiding Officer, as we speak to advance housing opportunities and improve our housing stock on the island, our development program estimates provide for the following, but not limited to: development of Adventure Phase 2, 21 million; affordable housing project, 12 million; home improvement grant subsidy, 10 million; home development initiative program, 10 million; Shervan integrated housing development, 9 million; village expansion program, 2.3 million. Presiding Officer, we continue to upgrade and expand our road infrastructure and protect our coastline from the harmful effects of coastal erosion. Accordingly, our development program estimates provide for, but not limited to, major improvement works on Scarborough roads, 28 million; improvement of Milford Road bridges, 18 million; Scarborough Enhancement Project, 14 million; Turpin Bend Solution, Charleville, 10 million; Windward Road Special Development Program, 10 million; Road Resurfacing Program, 8 million; Rehabilitation to Clonowell Highway, 8 million; and Coastal Protection Program, 8 million. Madam Presiding Officer, the development program estimates are associated with the critical and strategic areas identified as necessary to kickstart the island's longer-term sustainable development agenda. My administration has commissioned a team led by Dr. Vanush James to prepare a long-term development plan for Tobago. In early July, the team will start a series of consultations with stakeholders across the island as we seek to chart the way forward. The CEDP, or Comprehensive Economic Development Plan 2.0, has long expired, and there is an urgent need for a new medium to long-term strategic plan for this greatest little island.